Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, East to West Reactions. It's your boy AJ here. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Helps the channel out immensely, and I would be all the more grateful for it. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. I know I am with this chapter that dropped, so I couldn't do a live reaction, but I wanted to leave you guys with a review nonetheless, because a lot of things did happen, and we got a lot of really great setup and exposition here. So, just to sort of get into things, I'm going to start from the beginning here, and sort of start from the beginning here. But we got Momo here in the beginning of the chapter. He was left by himself. We see that he's still struggling to sort of get his dragon powers to work, and Yamato has left him, believing in him, of course, because she has her own mission to sort of help Momo out and maybe sort of relieve the tension off of him. But she has gone to go and defuse all of the explosives that are at the bottom of Onigashima, because even if Onigashima does happen to fall, she doesn't want a giant explosion to happen, destroying the entire island. So, with that, I think that this is going to be something that's going to be a real defining moment for Momo going forward, possibly a defining moment for her joining the crew as well, you know, seeing how capable she is. But at the same time, I feel like that's not going to be as easy for her. I think she's definitely going to be stopped by someone, but with a lot of the higher ups sort of busy with their own fights at the moment, I'm not really sure who it is that's going to be a cause for her to sort of stay away from what she really has to do. But nonetheless, I think she's definitely going to be challenged here in some way by somebody, possibly Orochi, but I can't see him being any sort of threat to her at all. But back to Momo, he's definitely going to get his clouds to work eventually. I think this is going to be a very last moment thing for him, definitely because, you know, you just can't have him right away learning how to use his dragon powers and him basically saving the day altogether. So this is definitely going to be a very last minute thing, perhaps in that last like 30 seconds before the before Onigashima drops down, or perhaps even as Onigashima is falling, you know, sort of showing his power and capability here to lift a falling island perhaps. So that might be kind of cool, but we'll see how this plays out, honestly. Next, I want to get into Sanji and his awakening, you can say. A lot of weird things have been going on with Sanji lately, ever since he put on that raid suit at first. And I also find it really interesting in this chapter how Queen is sort of egging him on, like, hey, like, come on, like, put on the raid suit, I want to see it. And it kind of really shows just how much Queen knows about Germa and Judge's work. Also kind of shows the amount of time that they've spent together back when they were working together on these different various science projects. Now, I'm not too sure why they really hate each other. I kind of want to learn a little bit about why they hate each other. Maybe this can give us a little bit more on Vegapunk as well. So that's kind of why I'm interested there. Perhaps he's involved in this somehow, some way. Because we know Queen really doesn't like Judge, but I feel like it's more so like they might have stolen each other's technology or ideas together, because we know that can be a common thing among, you know, creators and scientists. So honestly, who knows? I think that could be a case here though. But also, as well as Sanji, his feats in this chapter were insane. And his durability is now at an all-time high. I've seen a video going on back on Punk Hazard when the Straw Hats crews had their body swapped, and then Nami is in the body of Sanji, and she's sort of realizing just how durable Sanji's body is, and she's amazed herself because she took a huge hit and fall, but she's unscathed and undamaged, and she's like, if I wasn't in Sanji's body, I would definitely be dead. A lot of people just chalked it up to Sanji just being stronger and everything after the time skip. I, for one, sort of agree with that as well, but looking back at it now, this is definitely showing that as Sanji has grown, his innate Vince Smoke genes and abilities have started to awaken. And I think ever since he put on the raid suit, I think that it has increased tenfold. For what reason, I'm not too sure. I feel like maybe Judge might have had something to do with this, or it's just sort of a factor of his gene just awakening kind of late, perhaps. So I definitely think that it's sort of interesting. I don't know if I like it yet, honestly. I'm sort of hesitant on it because it's kind of out of left field. It's really convenient for the situation, but at the same time, I acknowledge that this is something that's sort of been led up to since the last arc. So I'm not too upset about it, but I'm going to wait and see how this goes, honestly, before I give my final opinion on everything. And last on this, sort of my hesitant reasons are also because Sanji is still very hesitant on using his suit, mainly because of how he feels about Germa and Judge and everyone, for rightfully so, of course. But at the same time, I feel like he should let go of that somewhat, swallow his pride and do what's best for him and his crew here, because it's only holding him back, for one, but also because he has a chance to sort of change the narrative here himself. The Stealth Black has a very huge legacy in the North Blue, of course, and as someone from the North Blue, he can be, the Stealth Black that everyone knows about. Of course, Law knows about it. Stealth Black is really cool, almost like a superhero to them in the North Blue. So Sanji has a chance to really sort of, again, change the narrative here and use the legacy of Stealth Black to sort of better himself and, maybe even boost up the crew here. So I'd like him to move on a little bit from there. And yeah. But I will say, Sanji sort of being bent out of shape and fixing himself was really weird and creepy, but it was kind of cool. And also, I lost my shit a little bit when I saw the sword just break when Queen sort of swung it at his head, and he's just there unscathed. So hopefully in the next chapter or so, we can really see Sanji go back to Queen and really do some damage now and put his pride aside and put on Stealth Black. And the last topic I want to get into from this chapter, and honestly the most interesting part to me of this whole chapter, I know everyone was going off about Sanji, but for me the best part was honestly the appearance of the world government here. So we know Cypher Pole has been in Onigashima sort of as a guest of Kaido, a few of the agents of CP0, and they're relaying everything back to Rob Lucci, who I'm assuming is back in Mary Joyce, because of course they can't just leave the Celestial Dragons. That's their whole job, honestly, is to protect them. So he's giving them orders from basically the HQ, and of course he tells them to go ahead and capture Nico Robin. I hope we don't get a repeat of what happened way back in Enies Lobby and Water 7. As much as I love those arcs, I don't want to repeat. I hope things can go a lot different this time around. The Straw Hats can protect her and move forward here. But at the same time, I think that they're going to have real struggle here, because in the midst of this war, they don't know that right beyond the borders of Wano is an entire fleet waiting to just swoop in and take over everything, with the downfall of Kaido, which is looking more and more like a realization for them as this war is going on. So I think that they're not going to waste any chances here. I think this is definitely a call straight from the top. I'm talking Imu, because this is a chance that Imu, I think, has been waiting for a very long time, and this isn't something that Imu's going to let just slip away, because Wano has been independent for so long and it has just eluded them. So I think that this is an opportunity that they're finally going to take, and I hope they don't get what they want, honestly, because the world government is always just showing up where they're not wanted, of course, just colonizing places that they have no business being in. But I think that this is definitely going to extend Wano for sure. I don't think for a long period of time, but maybe a couple extra more chapters than we all sort of realized what it was going to be. Because with the existence of them being here now, I don't think that the Straw Hats are just going to abandon Wano, honestly, because after everything that's happened, everything they've learned, they know that the borders need to be opened, but not like this. So they're going to be in for a fight, because I definitely believe that there's an admiral present among those ships. I don't think the Marines are going to send this fleet without somebody that high up to oversee this. Uh, Honestly, this moment realized for the world government. This is going to be huge for the world government if they're able to take Wano. So I definitely think an admiral is present, possibly Kizaru, because we know back before this, Akainu was very hesitant about the power and abilities of the samurai of Wano, but Kizaru was willing to go. So I think he might be first on the list to go there. But I think this could also be a really good chance to see Green Bull possibly, or maybe even Fujitora, who some speculate is from Wano. You know, he sort of has that samurai vibe to him. He looks like he could be a resident of Wano. But honestly, I'm not too sure. But I think one of those three is definitely present. And we might finally see, you know, the Straw Hats and Admiral clash again after a long time, you know, that we haven't seen this. So that's sort of all my thoughts here in the chapter. I think this is really good, a lot of good setup here, and we're just going to have to see where this all goes. This is turning out to be a lot more than what I thought it was going to be. Of course, there's a few people who definitely thought that the world government was going to show up with the presence of CP0, but to this capacity, I didn't really think. I didn't think that they would just be sitting there waiting for Kaido to just fall and to pop up. But hey, I guess that just shows just how desperate they are to sort of get things going here, especially after the reverie happening. You know, they really just want to go ahead and just dominate the world now and sort of fulfill this great cleansing that Imu's sort of hoping for. So I'm really excited to see what happens at the end of this arc. Not much longer now. We're definitely at that climax point. People are definitely going to start falling. More of the Straw Hat Alliance are going to start winning their fights. And yeah, I can't wait, honestly. The next, I'd say 10 to 20 chapters are going to be extraordinary for One Piece. So with that, I'll see you all next time. Again, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this chapter, definitely in the comments down below, because there's just so much to talk about here. So with that, I'll see you all next time. Take it easy, guys. Bye.